Hello. My name is Luca. I am Italian. I live in Berlin. We are going to talk about today about my experience in working as a product manager, as a product leader in different type of companies. This picture was taken in Berlin, in Kreuzberg, which is the place where I live. Is one of the coolest neighborhoods in Berlin. Matthias and I had an argument on this. And at that time, 2007, I moved to Berlin and I started my product management career. Berlin was a super cool place at that time. It is still a very cool place. But at that time, nobody knew what a product manager was. Maybe there is not yet the right definition. So what I did was, well, I started reading a lot of books, going to conferences as a speaker, or just out of curiosity. How many of you had read at least one of these books? Raise your hand, please. Not many. How many product managers are in the room? How many out of the product managers read at least one of these books? There is room for improvement here. Okay, but so after reading books and going to conferences, meeting people, this and that, I thought, I know what is the role of a product manager. The reality is that, well, I worked in growing startups, and that knowledge was super useful. It was about, discovery, quick iterations, know your customer, priority, backlogs, roadmaps, you name it. But then I moved in a gigantic company, Nokia, and I recently worked also in another gigantic company, eBay. And what I can tell you is that know your customer, fast iterations, not sure. So those are 1,000-people companies, right? So the challenge there is to get something out of the door. Someone is nodding. But then, so a couple of years ago, I started also doing some advisory work with early-stage companies, very early stage, 2 people, 3 people. And you know what? Those guys don't have the money to reach the next month. So forget about iterations, roadmaps, all fantasies. They have to cut corners. They have to try and experiment very quickly. So what I can say, and it's absolutely obvious, that a single model of a product manager doesn't fit all the situations. But then I asked myself, okay, but so what are the skills that make us product managers, successful in this very wide typologies of companies? And once I understand the skills, then what can I do to maximize my impact in the company where I work? My impact or the team, the impact of my team. Okay, so you see here on the horizontal axis, you see the time. And on the vertical axis, you see, how did I call it? Value created by the company. So revenues, number of customers, market value, you name it. It's an indication how well the company is doing. So when the company is at its very beginning, probably the founders have very good ideas. They throw in the market a new feature, which is a great success. They start to get a lot of money. They're super happy. But the week after, they release another feature, which is a complete failure. And so the value created goes up and down very quickly. But then one day, they get it right. They find the right product, but they have to fit it to the market. So the value created is much more stable, but they are not yet there. They have to fit it to the market. They work until they get it perfectly right. And so venture capitalists are coming, are pouring money, millions here and there. You are hiring hundreds of people on a weekly basis. Everything is going very well. This is the hyper-growth phase of a company. Then you proceed, your company becomes powerful, big player, global player. Then you get into a maturity phase in which the company becomes very stable. Maybe it will grow a little bit further in the future or will decline. Now, let's say that we know these 4 stages. So what are the skills that make me, as a product manager, successful in these 4 phases? Let's start with the first one, the search. As I mentioned it, here is a phase in which there is a lot of unclarity, there is a lot of cutting corners. It's a lot being very creative. Sometimes product managers even have to prepare coffees, right? As I was at the same time coffee maker, designer, data analyst, marketing person, scrum master, whatever. My recommendation in this specific case is that sometimes you have to have compromises against quality, and you push things out as soon as possible to test them. Out of curiosity here, how many of you think that you are in such a phase with your company? 2, 3, 4. Only 4? 5, 6, 7. No? 7, 8. Okay. So the next one is the market fit. Well, this is a standard one, right? So you get it right, you have to fit to the market, you do a lot of experiments. Of course, your company still in a risky situation, can lose money, can go wrong. So keep an eye on marketing CRM, interaction with the customers, but you have to do a lot of good business analysis. How many here in this stage? Market fit? 1. Only 1? 2? Oh, no, not very popular. Okay. And this is the hypergrowth. I bet here there is a lot of people, but so this is a classical situation of OpenAI, and right now many other companies that are doing extremely well, growing like crazy. Of course, you have, as a product manager, you have to embrace a change. You probably see people coming and going on a weekly basis. Well, my experience here is that that's the moment in which you have to start protecting your product management role and especially go cross-functional across all the departments. How many people working in a hyper-growth company? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, not many. Okay, and maturity. So here the company is very stable, is making probably a wild bunch of millions, so going very well. But since it is very established, then probably there is not much of innovation anymore. So be patient. You have to cope with a lot of frustration and probably going to some sort of heavy compromises on a product management standpoint. Here, people working in such a situation. So, okay, so all the others are not working. 3. Okay, good for you. All right, but now that we know the 4 stages and we are aware of the skills, so what can we do as product managers to maximize our impacts? And I'm going to tell you my own story. In 2017, I joined a growing startup called Outfittery. It's a fashion company. It's still existing. It's doing very well. And at that time, in 2017, money was coming. Man, it was party, champagne. So VCs from London pouring money into the company. The users were growing quickly. I met people in the elevator every week, and I asked, are you actually working here? Yeah, I started yesterday on a weekly basis. And well, what I noticed also is that the two founders, two extremely smart women, they are still in the company. No, one is in the company, the other one left. They were actually dictating the roadmap. Literally, they come to the product management room and they said, do this, do that, tomorrow morning. Will do. So at that stage, clearly the company was in a hyper-growth phase. But then I wanted to understand what is the existing expectation on the product management team. So what I did was simply a survey. I sent a few questions to my peers, C-level managers, product managers. And this is the outcome of the survey. Number one, product management team is a driver for project implementation. Number two is a connector between departments. And the third one is a service to convey ideas into technology. Forget about innovation. Forget about the voice of the customer. Sad picture? Yes, sad picture. It's a little bit of a project management team. But then I asked something even more concrete. Do the product managers really contribute to the company's success? Well, look at the numbers. The spike at 9 were all the product managers voting for themselves. So it is even more sad, if you like. So what I did was I tried to have a collaboration across all my peers, departments, colleagues, and I created a sort of, a working group. And where there was a CTO, tech leads, the other product managers, another couple of C-level managers, CMO especially, and COO. And we asked ourselves, okay, well, what is going wrong? And what can we do? And do we have solutions? And so on. After months of discussions, we understood, okay, this company needs clarity, needs very clear statements on what we want to do and how we want to do it. And so we worked on a vision, on a strategy, and we transformed this strategy into objectives and key results. Then we reorganized the company into cross-functional mission teams, no silos, no marketing, product, technology, design, all working together to the same goal. And then we defined product owner, product manager, and the project manager. We try to apply this model for basically 1 year, 1.5 years. And after this year, I asked again the same questions. And after 1 year, interestingly, the connector between the departments became first. Then the voice of the customer, which was the last one, became second. Then driver for project implementation, third. And the last one, which is, in my opinion, the worst one, was finally service to convey ideas into technology, finally, at the bottom. And asking again, do the product management team contribute to the success of the company? Well, it's not perfect, but it's a clear improvement. So, and this is my last slide, I think at least what I did in order to maximize my impact and the impact on my product management team was I tried to understand the stage, the phase of the company where I was to set my own expectations, and I asked the expectations of the others. Then I worked together with other stakeholders, colleagues, friends, peers in order to set the stage for a plan, and I applied this plan, and after 1 year, 1.5 years, I checked if the plan was actually working. So that's it. Here in this QR code, if you like, you can scan this QR code, and the web page, you will see I will ask you exactly the same questions that I asked my peers. What do you think a product manager or a product management team is? Then we can have a look together to the results, and if you want to have a conversation, please catch me in the corridor whenever you see me. Thank you.